two-dimensional AI is like
stuff coming off your screen, like
Okay.
text, images, video, sound waves. Three-dimensional AI, if you want to call it that, or the physical world, particularly robotics and biology.
Yeah.
And the reason that that's valuable is that there's a scarcity, and whenever something is scarce, it becomes valuable. And the scarce thing in those domains is lots of unstructured data. A robot walking into this room and deciding how much force to use to lift my bottle, my drink, is totally different than the intuitive grasp that a 3-year-old might have.
Yeah.
And there is no repository of information from Reddit and Twitter and the Library of Congress and all the internet to train models on. So the people that are developing that unstructured data for robotics, I think, are quite valuable. We've got an investment with Lockheed Groom and Carol and team at Physical Intelligence. So bullish on that. We've been putting a lot of money in there. Same thing on biology. Lots of unstructured data. It's not the stuff where people are doing protein folding and trying to understand, but truly, how do you do like as an evolutionary scale, which we actually spun out from Meta because they sort of decided to shut this entity down.
Right.
It's really them and isomorphic as the two leads in the cutting edge of foundation models for biology. The third area within AI that I think is pretty interesting is memory. And I don't mean memory as in the models that we're using that Claude and ChatGPT and et cetera remember our prompts and have context, but specifically the hardware in the devices. And my speculative thesis is that like 50% of the inference that we will do, contrary to what Jensen and NVIDIA would like you to believe, which is that you need hundreds of thousands of H100s in the cloud.
Yep.
You do need that for training, but I believe that you're going to see increasingly on-device inference and that the hardware that is going to power that are going to be edge inference chips, novel FPGAs, and particularly flash memory. There was a paper that Apple put out that not a lot of people had read a year, maybe 15 months ago. And it was the spark for me to say, wait a second, SK Hynix and Micron and Samsung that people consider to be sort of commodity flash memory or SRAM or DRAM players. It's the same thing that people thought about NVIDIA back in 2015 or 2016. Oh, these are just commodity gaming chips with the cyclicality of a PlayStation or an Xbox. But all of a sudden, no, it became the soul of the new machine. So if your emails, health data, I just posted on Twitter today an interesting Apple paper, coincidentally, about the health data from watches and new foundation model that's competing with transformers to unearth insights. I think that these edge inference devices are going to become a big deal.